Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, good day to you. That's depending where you are in the world. I'm here live in London. I'm in the light. That light. We're doing our nighttime devotion. The devotion was called Conflict and Courage. The title today, Jehovah's Honor Vindicated. 2 Chronicles 32 verse 8. With him is an arm of flesh, but with us is the Lord our God to help us and to fight our battles. And the people rested themselves upon the words of Hezekiah, the king of Judah. Hezekiah, in the earlier years of his reign, had continued to pay tribute to Assyria, in harmony with the agreement entered into by Ahaz. Meanwhile, the king had taken counsel with his princes and his mighty men and had done everything possible for the defense of his kingdom. The long-expected crisis finally came. The forces of Assyria, advancing from triumph to triumph, appeared in Judea. Judah's only hope was now in God. All possible help from Egypt had been cut off. No other nations were near to lend a friendly hand. Sennacherib wrote letters to rail on the Lord God of Israel and to speak against him, saying, "As the gods of the nations of other lands have not delivered their people out of mine hand, so shall not the God of Hezekiah deliver his people out of mine hand." When the king of Judah received the taunting letter, he took it into the temple and spread it before the Lord and prayed with strong faith for help from heaven, that the nations of earth might know that the God of the Hebrews still lived and reigned. The honor of Jehovah was at stake. He alone could bring deliverance. Hezekiah was not left without hope. Isaiah went to him, saying, "Thus saith the Lord God of Israel, that which thou hast prayed to me against Sennacherib king of Assyria, I have heard." That very night deliverance came. The angel of the Lord went out, smote in the camp of the Assyrians 185,000. The God of the Hebrews had prevailed over the proud Assyrian. The honor of Jehovah was vindicated in the eyes of the surrounding nations. In Jerusalem, the hearts of the people were filled with holy joy. Their earnest entreaties for deliverance had been mingled with confession of sin and with many tears. In their great need, they had trusted wholly in the power of God to save, and He had not failed them. So this is an amazing story if you go back and read it. And I'll tell you why. There's a whole lot to understand from this. 2 Chronicles 32:8. So this is when Sennacherib, whatever you want to call him, he's gone and smite all the nations around. He's conquered them and they're all on their knees, basically. And he comes to Judea. He comes to Hezekiah. And he sends a letter telling Hezekiah, "Bow down to me now. Give up your nation to me now, and I won't harm you." and I'll give you vines and vineyards, and you'll have places to live. That's all fine. I won't kill anyone. Just give me your kingdom. Let me control everything. Now, he also says, why are you relying on your God? All these other nations had their gods who didn't do anything for them, and nor will your God. So what does Hezekiah do? He takes the letter, takes it into the temple, spreads it out before God, and he prays over it. And he prays basically for God to deliver the nation of Israel. There's a whole lot more to this story, but you need to go and read it and look up a guy called Rehoboam. In the meantime, so if you think about it, all these other nations have been conquered and all their gods couldn't save them. God didn't wait just so out of random. It wasn't random that Sennacherib spent all that time all the other places before he came to Judea. God made that happen. He made that happen so all the other nations would be watching. Because Judea is pretty much one of the last few to be standing. And God waited for that moment when, not that, the one or two and then all the rest are there. One or two get conquered, all the rest are okay. God waited for everyone to be watching. And not one person, not one of the Israelites in the whole kingdom of Judea was harmed, hurt, toenail broken, nothing. God smote the whole of the army of the Assyrians, made them turn on them each other. And even Sennacherib got killed as well, because they made a fool, or they tried to make a fool out of God. But God basically said, listen, you can't do that to me, and you can't do that to my people. And I'm going to make this an example to all these other nations around watching us. So, my question is, how many of those nations were converted because of that experience? How many? As well as most of the Israelites probably reconverted, because I'm sure most of them were very scared and were ready to give up. But none of them did give up when they had the opportunity. Again, go and read this story. It is really good. When God seems to allow you to go through the storm, to be on your knees begging him, Father, where are you? I'm kind of ready to give up. He's always on time. Always, always on time. Remain faithful and trust him.